Today, I am meeting with Cheryl, a 58-year-old Black woman who presents to the community mental health clinic seeking assistance with stress in her life triggered by work, money, and her marriage. I first met with Cheryl over the telephone. Cheryl has been married for over 30 years, and she is initially from Tennessee. Approximately 6 months ago, Cheryl was let go from her longtime position with her CPA firm. She is finding it difficult to find a new job. While her employer expressed that several employees were being laid off due to budget cuts, Cheryl can't help but continue to wonder if there were other reasons for her firing. She states that she's a hard worker and keeps her head down. Cheryl did not have any close relationships with her coworkers and admits that she could have improved on her people skills. Cheryl has a college education and has a strong work history in accounting. Cheryl's husband is an engineer for Boeing. His position with Boeing is solid and predictable, and he has experienced an earnings plateau over the past several years. Cheryl admits that her and her husband are financially stable and had planned on retiring within the next 5 to 10 years. However, since her layoff, she feels that her hopes for an early retirement might need to be re-examined if she cannot find another job within the next year. This issue has caused her quite a bit of stress. Cheryl has a steady support network through her local community Baptist church and Bible study. She attends services nearly every Sunday, and her husband attends with her as well. She finds the services to be uplifting, but seldom makes plans to spend time with the women in her Bible study unless the offer is initiated and or extended by another woman in the church group. She feels that her husband does not express the same interest in spiritual growth. Additionally, she has 2 sisters who live in Tennessee. She speaks with them on the telephone at least once a week. Despite feelings of not feeling very close and feelings of being disconnected from her husband, Cheryl reports a stable relationship with her husband. Cheryl expresses that her and her husband do not communicate beyond catching up about their day over dinner. Cheryl and her husband do not have children together. Cheryl often feels lonely at home and admits that her and her husband on a typical night after dinner will part their ways to separate rooms of the house to watch television, as they do not like the same television shows. The onset of Cheryl's stress occurred approximately 2 months post-termination from her job. Cheryl is asking for guidance in improving people skills, strengthening communication with her husband, and guidance with her interpersonal relationship with God. Cheryl is convinced that she is the problem and hopes to make significant progress as soon as possible. During my initial telephone consultation with Cheryl, she was very deferential and accommodating when scheduling our initial appointment. Throughout our conversation, she displayed constant gratitude for my willingness to help her. Cheryl does not claim to be depressed and does not have any thoughts of suicide nor harming herself or others. She denies spousal abuse, but notes that she was verbally abused in relationships with 2 boyfriends during high school. During the session, I will apply the following interventions: collaboration, working alliance, identify, explore, and address client resistance. I will help Cheryl focus on her internal experience, foster client initiative, transference, countertransference, identify and contain Cheryl's dominant affect, and use process to facilitate change for Cheryl. Change will occur for Cheryl if she can rebuild self-confidence and strengthen her marital bond with her husband. In turn, this will help Cheryl relieve stress in other areas in her life. Cheryl, thank you for coming in today. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Good. So on the telephone, we had talked a little bit about your situation, and I was just wondering what you would like to start with today.
I don't know. What's a good place to usually start?
Why don't you tell me a little bit about what's going on for you since we had last spoke on the telephone?
Okay. I've been unemployed for about around 6 months at this point, and I've been really thinking about it a lot recently, and it seems like they said it was just department layoffs, but I've been thinking it's, like, they're lying. It's got to have been something I did. And so it's just been really getting to me lately. It's just been on my mind, I think, a lot. And aside from that, it's just been kind of normal around the house. Just husband comes in it's around like 6 o'clock, and just go straight to his room. And I go to my little room. And just, I don't see him for the rest of the night. Maybe I'll see him like around 8. We're having dinner together, but that's about it. So it's just been kind of like that.
So what I'm hearing is that you are experiencing some stress because of because of the layoff or the termination a few months ago, and you haven't been able to find any work, and that you pretty much assume that everything is normal and usual in your home life, and that you and your husband go to separate rooms. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's basically it. Just we don't really do much else. Every week or so, I'll call my sisters up and we'll all talk together. They live in Tennessee, but I don't really do much else with people except for Sundays. I'll go to church. I'll sit around and listen to the lecture. And sometimes we have like Bible studies and Bible groups, but I won't go unless people want me there. So it's been stressful, I guess.
So we were talking about people not wanting you there. What is that about? Can you tell me more?
Oh, just like sometimes they invite me, and that's really great. But then if they don't invite me, I don't think they want me there. So I won't go. I won't. I don't want to appear like a burden to them.
A burden?
Yeah. So if they didn't invite me, I'm not going to invite myself, of course. That's just rude.
Okay, so how else would you feel like you're a burden, though? Do you...
Oh, it seems like kind of common courtesy. Like, you wouldn't invite yourself to a party. You wouldn't just go out on a date night with someone if they didn't invite you.
I'm wondering if there's ever been another time in your life where you felt like you were a burden.
I guess just with my old job, thinking about it, I feel like they probably laid me off because I was a burden to them.
Yeah. In what way, well, how do I put this? How do you feel that you were a burden to your employer?
Oh, just 58 now, so getting older, so you can guess it, they were like, oh, older people can't do the job these younger kids are doing. There was, all these computers and whatnot coming in.
No, I don't know how it is. You want to explain a little bit more?
Well, they just have all these programs doing stuff that people should be doing, and it just felt like, younger people are going to be better at the computers than I am, and obviously, since I can't do that, I'm getting ready for retirement. I was hoping for retirement in the next couple of years. My husband was like, oh, she can't do it anymore. So we're just going to let her go because she's not useful. She's just trying to, well, she's not trying to do anything. She's not doing anything for the company. She's just dead weight.
You shared some pretty heavy stuff there. I hear that you feel like you're not useful and that you're a burden, and that you feel like there's some other times that you've felt that way in areas of your life. And I'm wondering if what you've done in the past to help you in situations where you felt like you're a burden and not useful.
Oh, just watching TV, I guess. Not really going out, just watching TV mostly. I'd say watching TV, like older shows, like I can't even remember them now. Something like that old Sabrina the Teenage Witch show back in the day. Stuff like that.
So when you feel like you're a burden or you're not useful,
you escape through television?
Television and cleaning a lot. I think I clean a lot. You know, just, there's nothing else to really do at the home, so I'll just
And how
wash
has
the
that
dishes.
been helpful for you?
Oh, it gives me something to do. Like, just I feel like every week I put about 5 or 10 applications out for different areas, you know, for accounting at these different places like banks or firms, or I think even recently it was like must have been a university or a clinic of some sort that I put in because they were hiring for, you know, accounting director or something like that. And I was like, oh, I've got this qualification. So I put my application in and nothing so far. So you can't just twiddle my thumbs, you know, just sit on ass waiting for that call. Gotta just do something.
You gotta do something.
Yeah, gotta do something.
You can't wait for a call. You just gotta get out there and
Yeah.
pound the pavement, so to speak, and try to get a job.
Well, you know, more like just clean that peanut butter stain off the plate.
Peanut butter stain.
Yeah, peanut butter stain. You ever had that issue where there's just so much food caked on a plate, like, you know, after you're done eating, you just have to scrub?
It's just,
Yeah, it's
it
just-
sounds like for you, it sounds like that would be a very stressful experience, and
I'm gonna give him something to do at least.
what do you mean, give them something to do?
Well, I mean, it gives me something to do. It's just, like I said, I don't have, I'm just waiting for that call. That call doesn't seem to be coming.
Sure,
And
so,
it's not like my husband's gonna do anything. He's coming, and I understand. You know, I gotta give it to him. He's like at work for like 8-10 hours a day, 12 hours sometimes, depending on his shift, and he's making all the money right now, so he's got to be under a lot of stress. So I really appreciate that for him. You know, just it must be really difficult for him to have like a wife like me who has nothing, is not doing anything. All they really do is cook and clean the house. I'm just waiting for something to happen. Nothing's happening.
a wife like you? What do you wanna tell me more about that?
Oh, sure. You know, like, well, I'm not doing much, so it gives me all this time at the house. Cooking, cleaning, making sure his food's ready when he comes home. I don't really ask him to do much. Like, we don't have date nights anymore. I let him have his own room. Well, not let him, but we have our own room so he can watch what he wants and I can watch what I want without disturbing him. And the only thing I really ever ask him to do is come to church with me on Sundays, and that's only like an hour of his time. And he's more than willing to do it. I don't think he's much of a believer, but it's the thought that counts, right? So he's just putting up with me for now. Yeah.
Putting up with you?
Well, yeah. Like, how else would you describe someone who just doesn't do anything all day?
I don't know, but it sounds like you're hopeless. It sounds like you don't have enough vested in yourself.
But I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, I mean, I'm hearing from you that someone like you, and you're a burden, and you're useless, and those don't sound like they're very positive viewpoints of yourself, that you don't have much self-worth of yourself.
Hmm.
And I'm wondering where that's coming from.
I don't know. I haven't really given it too much thought, I guess.
I mean, we explored a little bit in the beginning about another incident where you had felt like you were useless, and that was when you were laid off or terminated from your job.
Mm-hmm.
So is this, even before then, were there other times where you felt this? Because it appears to be a pattern in all areas of your life, where at home you feel like you're less than, at work you feel like you're less than, in social you feel like you're a burden or less than, and don't put yourself out there. So is this something that has been a pattern for you?
I guess, you know, when I think back, now that you say that, now that you mention that, I feel like all throughout college and all throughout my first couple of jobs, you know, just getting out of college, it was always like, oh, I didn't matter until well, not matter. I'm sure that I mattered to someone, at least someone back then. I would fired me sooner, I guess. But I was always under this kind of pressure and stress to like do my best, you know, because I didn't want to get fired, and I didn't want to be one of those people you see on TV who always dropped the folders and had all that stuff spilling everywhere and ruining a whole day's or whole week's worth just because I was clumsy. So I was always, you know, head to the nose to the desk, just scribbling in my notes, making sure that all of my notes and all of my calculations and all of my financial sheets were just in line, so that the boss would be happy for, well, not happy, well, maybe at least about proud at the end of the day that, like, you know, we made the right choice picking her. And the same thing I guess in college too is I just didn't feel valid or useful unless I got like the highest grades. You know, like as high as I could do, give it my best and get a good grade. But if I got like a C or a B, I didn't study enough, or it was just.
You didn't study enough?
Yeah.
You didn't feel valid?
No, what's the point of with this whole program if I can't even get through it, you know?
Sure. And where does that need for validation come from?
I don't know.
Sounds like something that we should maybe work on together.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you want to work on that?
Well, I mean, what do you think is the best way to further work through this, and what comes to mind for you? I'm glad that you brought up the issues. I mean, we're able to make the connection that there's a pattern in your life as far as needing validation and feeling less than, and so I wonder for you what it would look like for you, and what's the best way to address this so that we can work together so that you feel more valid.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to, you know, look into these situations and taking your time now. I don't really know what to do from here, I guess, is that
Well, why don't we just continue to sit here for a moment, and you can just settle into yourself and take a break and some thoughts, let them run through your head, and think about how you would like things to be different in your life and what seems to be most alive and present in the thoughts right now in this particular moment that you would want to address with regards to how to feel validated and what has caused you to feel so invalidated.
Well, I think if it was to be different, I feel valid. I feel really, I think, valid if I had a job, you know. That would be great. I'd be able to start contributing again to the financial situations at home, and we'd be able to get retirement planning done, and it's just so unfortunate that it had to terminate so quick, or so soon before we could start really planning for retirement. I guess, yeah, getting a job would be the main thing, I think, and I guess spending more time with my husband, but you know, he's busy, so I understand why he needs to be out. And I guess going out with friends more. I feel like, I guess if I feel a lot of it is that I just haven't made a lot of friends since college even, now that I think about it, boy. Never really noticed how much you need friends until you don't have them, right?
It seems like it weighs on you. I can
Yeah.
just tell with the way that you're sitting there that all of this stuff that's going on, the not feeling validated, and not having a common ground anymore with your husband because, you know, he's working all the time.
It's stressful.
And then not having any friends or a social outlet, and that I can just tell that just by your body language that must be weighing really heavily on you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I never.
Not even really making eye contact with me, so.
Well, you know, I just don't want to be. I don't want to be rude. But yeah, I never noticed up until then how much I was kind of missing. I guess I never really stopped to think about it. Just constantly trying to move to the next thing.
Mhm.
You know.
Just moving on.
Yeah, just job to job, place to place, going for retirement now.
With your just moving on, have you ever stopped a moment just to think about you and what would make you feel validated and worth something?
I don't know. It seems like that issue where you have something like a job and you just, you think it'll be great, and then 3 months in you're not getting paid enough and you want a raise, and 6 months in you hate your boss and you just don't ruffle any feathers because you don't want your boss to know that you hate him. And it's just like years pass like that, and you're just trying to make ends meet, just trying to get through. And I think that's just where I'm at. Been out there for the last 40 years, I think, is just trying to get through. So I don't even know. I don't remember what I did when I was a kid to have fun.
So you're just trying to get through life?
Yeah,
But validation seems like it's a big part for you though too, to feel wanted and needed and important. I mean, you're constantly thanking me for taking time out of my day to, be here with you. And so I often am wondering also what you might be thinking about or feeling as you're telling me all of what's going on with you.
Well, I mean, it's different, I think it's different for, you're white and I'm black. And there's a lot of stuff that's changed in the last couple of years, but this is back when I was a kid, just always been on the lower rung. So it feels like a lot of the lower rung. And so this is kind of this feeling is always how it's been. It was with my dad too, and my mom, is that, just gotta get through. I was growing up, that was the mentality, you just gotta get through. And so that's how it is, It's just that you gotta get through the day, get a paycheck, and make sure you got a place to live and a place to be. That's it. And just being courteous to other people. Don't ruffle any feathers. Make sure you're just
Not ruffling the feathers.
Yeah, you're not ruffling the feathers. You don't want to piss anyone off. And that's like a real problem.
And you don't want to piss anybody off, right?
It's like
No.
you're telling me is that it's different. Like one day you piss off the wrong person, they come at your house and break in.
So you just keep your head down.
Just keep your head down, man.
Yeah, just keep it down. So I'm honored that you chose to share that with me, but I also am wondering if I could check in with you for a moment, because you did make kind of a comment there about our racial differences, and I'm wondering if that is a problem for you, if you think I'm not going to be able to help you.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that, like you're talking about, how I feel good, and I was trying to explain that it might be a little different, because I'm older, I'm almost 60, I've been around, I've seen things, I've been through things, and it's not how it was. Oh boy, it's not how it was back then. Back then, man, there was stuff. There was some pretty heavy stuff back then.
So I want to take you back for a minute and see what we can do to try to get you to work on a couple of things. And I know you were sitting for a moment to try to figure out what was the most important goal that you would like to work on today. I think we got a little sidetracked just a little bit, so if you want to just maybe refocus for a second. I mean, I have some ideas, but I'd like to have you start first and see what you think might be a good fit and start for you.
Well, maybe kind of the most, I guess, accessible right now might just be my relationship with my husband. I don't think that just sitting here, I don't think he's gonna get me a job. I mean, if you need an accountant, let me know. But I don't think that just sitting here and talking is gonna get me a job myself. As much as I appreciate your time, I think that's something I gotta kind of focus on myself. But
Sure. maybe our work here today and in the next couple of sessions might help you build some confidence and feel more validated so that you can use that in the interview process. So maybe here in this session, if we're going to work on your relationship with your husband and you can gain some confidence and common ground in your marriage, then maybe that might carry over into some other things.
Maybe.
So it may have a double effect for you.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
that'd be wonderful, but you know.
So what are some things that you think might work to come up with this new common ground? I mean, what is at home between you and your husband? What are some of the changes you would like to see?
It'd be really nice if we could go out again like we did when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
Go out
great.
again?
Mm-hmm. Just.
Did you go out like date night, or was it just?
Oh, you know how it was. We'd go out back in the day. I was like, what? We met when I was like 23, 24. He was about 28 at the time. You know, I was just finishing up. I graduated at that point. I hadn't met too much. He was in his master's. He was in a graduate program for his engineering at I think he's there's some airplane company. It's kind of escaping me right now. Boeing.
Uh-huh.
That one.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that in our initial telephone
Right.
conference the other day, yeah.
Just but he would always make time. We'd go out dancing, go, date nights. We'd go to amusement parks as much as we could. Stuff like that. And now it's just I think since he's out of the program and do an actual job now, that's when things started to turn different. Is date night, all those fun times, instead of them being like weekly, it's only like monthly. And then when my job kicked into full, it was like lucky if it was done in 2 months or something.
Sure. So you would like to see date night happen a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
So how do you think that you can work on making that happen in the house?
I know, like, in my head that I should just ask him, but part of me just doesn't want to, like, be that person that wife who just kind of nags him or, just says, would be demanding. I don't want to be demanding with him. I don't want him to seem like, oh, you're out there doing all this work and you got to take care of me when I'm not even employed. No, I want it to be a thing where it's like, I don't even want to bring it up with him because I feel like he's going to take it that way.
Why do you think that he would take it that way?
I
Has there
just-
been, not to interrupt you, but has there been a time where he's made you feel?
Well, no, he's always been great, and like I said, like when I ask him to come and chat with me, it's pretty routine. He'll still go. I don't think, like I said, I don't think he believes any, but he'll still go. But that's like only an hour of his time. Like a date night might be a couple hours, and I just don't want to. I don't know when to implement that because he works like 6 days a week, and I don't want to take his last day away.
So I'm hearing that you want to do a date night, but you're not quite sure how to implement that process.
Right.
What do you think might be a good way to try to implement that? I mean, if you didn't have this hesitation, if the hesitation was removed and you didn't feel like you were the burden or invalid, how to your husband, how would this look for you as far as going through and taking the reins and asking for a date night? I mean, don't you deserve a date night?
I mean, when you say it like that, but like I said, I just don't want him to. I don't want him to take it the wrong way.
To take it the wrong way?
Yeah.
How do you think he would take it wrong?
I don't want him to be like coming home and I'm like, oh, we should go out, and he's like, woman, I've been at work all day. I just want to get out and get to my room, watch TV, eat dinner. You gotta get back to work in like 6 hours or however long it takes.
Can I make a suggestion? I'm not trying to obviously fix anything.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay, so what if there was a way to ask him that wasn't such a burden? Maybe a calendar and just present it to him, maybe? I don't know. you know your life situation better than I do, but there's got to be a way that you can implement or at least slightly suggest, don't you think, to get there?
Maybe. What is your idea?
Well, maybe a subtle note
No?
and just say, hey, how about we go out? Or how about a conversation over dinner about what do you think about us having dinner out one night instead of at home? What if we were to do dinner? What if I was to meet you halfway and we were to go out to dinner after you got off of work and I met you halfway? Or even just a card. You know, what were some of the, maybe even go back to some of the things that you did when you were dating. I mean, if you left little love notes and cards for each other. So just maybe something like that. Or
I could try that, I guess. I think maybe we'll see.
I mean, they're just suggestions. Obviously, I'm not here to tell you how to do it, but
Need all the advice I could get.
you know, because everything that you're saying to me is important to me, and you matter. And
Well,
it
thank
just,
you. Thank you so much.
I would like for your, I would like to see, you know, you to be happy in your marriage. So I just think that maybe that might work, or you might want to try, if you
Yeah.
wanted to try that.
Try that. I'll try. How should I do it?
I don't know. How do you think might work? How would it be for you to approach him in the Cheryl way? How would Cheryl approach her husband to ask him on a date?
Boy. It's kind of be a thing where, you know, he'd be studying for his exams or whatnot. I would just yank him up when I was younger and go, we're going.
And you just go?
Just go.
Like spur of the moment?
Spur of the moment.
And how did he react?
He would just go with it.
He would just go? And so he liked that?
I guess if he didn't like it, he didn't say anything.
No, but it sounds like, I mean, it brings a smile to your face,
Yeah.
and sounds like those are some good memories. Maybe try that.
Yeah.
Maybe just try that. You never know. And if it's putting a smile on your face right now, I can only imagine what that would do for him as well, because
It's been a long time since then, honey.
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we're getting close to end of session, and
Okay.
I would like for you to, I think that would be a good thing for you to try this week. How about, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll try it.
You can try
I can't
that?
promise anything, but I'll try to try.
Okay, well, I think that over the next couple of sessions, as we work on this, I can't promise anything, but hopefully we can work together to try to come towards some validation for you so that you can have some more confidence and get some clarity as to your job situation, and maybe some stronger communication skills in your marriage.
Yeah.
And then with that, hopefully the money situation will find its way in balance as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that sound like a good idea?
All we can do is try.
You can try?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to thank you for coming
Oh
in
no,
today.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I really think that it was a good session. What do you think?
I enjoy it. It was nice being able to talk about these things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
I really appreciate it.
You appreciated that. I appreciated you being here,
Thank you.
and I think that it was a beneficial session. I think that we worked fairly well today.
Yeah.
And I think we got a lot of things done.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do you agree? Is there anything else that you would like to address?
No.
We've got just a couple minutes left before, and I have to meet with our next client, so if there's just one other concern or any little issue that you had, or
I don't think so. I think you gave me a lot to think about for this upcoming time.
so you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna try
I'll
to
try.
just yank
Yeah.
him up and take him to dinner and just no questions asked, and just have everything planned and get him in the car to go.
I'll try it.
You're gonna try that and see where that goes?
Uh-huh.
You think maybe that might give you
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You'll see how it goes. Any particular plans or anything like that?
Not yet.
No?
We just made this. Give me some time to think it over.
I will. So you think you can do this between now and your next session?
I'll try.
Okay, so we'll make an appointment for next week.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for saying.